Well, it's another beautiful morning in paradise, so let's do a garden tour. Everything I haven't planted or sold yet on this table. Almost everything. We have some new pets. Little goldfish keep the mosquitoes from using this tank to multiply themselves. That was a good decision, getting those goldfish. Here's Nibbles. Tally ho! Here I've got some sweet basil, and these are the golden ground cherries. The flea beetles really like them, but they should pull out of it soon enough. Some more basil, and well, let's see. Got some moonflowers. This here is the cucamelon. Got a few of those. The dogs dug up a couple of them, but we'll at least get to see if we like them this year, I think. Some more basil growing with my oak tree. A birdhouse gourd. Another cucamelon. And some more basil. And over here we have moonflowers. They're kind of scattered around. Fig's doing well. On the other side here, in the former goose pen, I have a couple of summer squash that are coming along, some Roma beans, and some watermelon and cantaloupes. And down right there is a cucumber. I planted a lot more than came up. I think that I should have maybe sprouted them first and then put them in the ground, but whatever. Here's the garlic bed. I pulled most of it up. The asparagus you planted are doing pretty well, Mom. And there is one surviving strawberry plant. And one of the grapes is doing well too, the Niagara, I think. And that's all that's left of the garlic. I'm just gonna leave it there for a little bit. I've got so much pulled up that I'm just gonna replant for next year. Here's your roses, Mom. I haven't let the goats nibble on them for a while, so they're doing okay. I just really need to weed around them. And here's one of your blackberries or raspberries, whatever it was. And here's the triple crown blackberry coming to life pretty nicely. Some more. And the climbing rose already bloomed once, and I think it just needs some serious love. So the fava beans, they grew pretty well, but they're starting to succumb to the bugs and the moisture, I think. Whatever those two are, I don't think they're my friends. There's another ground cherry. You can see who's eating it. But, you know, survival of the fittest around here. Let's see what we got. I think there's some bigger beans. Oh yeah. So there's a nice big fava bean that is about ready, I guess. I don't know when they're ready. Elephant garlics are starting to open up. The motherwort is very tall this year. This is my hyssop, which tastes like licorice, makes a really nice tea. It's gotten a lot bigger, as you can see. Elephant garlic. Lamb's quarters galore. I've been meaning to harvest a bunch and blanch it like spinach and freeze it. But even if I don't do that, I've been just pulling the tops off like this and throwing them in soup, and so they are getting eaten. I like them better than spinach, and they're certainly easier to grow. Some more hyssop that needs to be weeded around. Oregano. These are more fava beans. Geese. These are called wild daga. There's, I just planted them this last week, or I just put them in the ground this last week. So I'm looking forward to seeing them bloom. Some more, another massive fava bean pod. And then the few peas that sprouted in here just pretty much got buried by the lamb's quarters, but like I said, the lamb's quarters are good eating, so I'm not really in a fuss about it. I pull it out when I need space to plant stuff. I think these are bachelor's buttons. I hope. And that's it for this bed. Here's one of the apples that I grafted. I'm really happy with how they're all coming along. And every now and then I'll just pull the leaves off below the graft to make sure they don't compete with it. Well, I try to. Nibbles helps. And this is my field of yarrow, which I want to harvest some today for Dad. And look, my rice has come up. It doesn't seem to mind the heavy quality of the soil that I put in this kiddie pool at all. It's been getting lots of rain, and if we go a couple days without rain, I go ahead and hose it down, because rice does not like to get dry. So far so good. Asparagus. Notice that it is completely unmaintained in here, but the asparagus does not care. First thing to plant in my book is asparagus. There's some more right there. There's my oregano starting to bloom. And look at all this Dutch clover, and the tall white stuff is cilantro that's gone to flower. And then there's another big elephant garlic opening up. I haven't done anything in this bed because I went ahead and used it as a nursery bed for these bench grafted apple trees. I was going to plant flowers in it, but I think it's alright as it is. It should attract the beneficial pollinators and stuff. Here's my one greasy bean that's doing well. I picked 2 beans off of it this morning. Gave one to Felix to nibble on. I don't even remember what kind of squash this is. This is a Zucchino rampicante, and it is becoming my favorite kind of summer/winter squash to grow because it's just so vigorous. Makes a good weed cover too, weed block. And got a carrot in there. A few carrots around here. Another little squash of some sort that I put in. I think that's maybe a custard squash. Here's a tomato that's not doing great because it got chewed on. Another carrot. Another chewed on tomato. This is not a safe place to plant things. Some things. Here's my artichoke. So far so good. This is the other asparagus patch. I harvested from this one yesterday, or day before yesterday, and put them in some soup I was making. Okay, now this bed. First we have the garbanzo beans, which I'm not super impressed with. Some of them aren't producing at all, but we are getting a few on these 2 here, these 3 I guess. So time will tell if they're worth growing or not. I'm leaning toward not. Here's my pawpaw. It's showing a little sun damage, so I might put even more shade over it. Here's my tomatoes, slowly climbing upward. This was the cheapest way I could think of to trellis this many tomatoes this year. And so far it's working. Here's another pawpaw coming along. They are slow growers. Some more elephant garlic. Focus. And the kohlrabi. I like the kohlrabi, but I don't know if they're worth growing because I think turnips are easier, or at least about the same. But one nice thing about the kohlrabi is they're not in the dirt, they're kind of above it, so that's appealing to me. And look how healthy my milkweed collection is becoming. Unlike the peppers, which are just sort of struggling along. I think it's because they have a lot of competition for root space, but also maybe they're not getting as much light as they would like. So I trimmed this mulberry yesterday and fed a bunch of the branches to the goats. And then I forgot to take my loppers in. So I'll do that after I'm done filming this. Look at my gourd seed corn. I'm really pleased with this. I will definitely be growing it again, I think. We'll see how it tastes. And there's some more squashes. Slowly growing. Obviously need to beat back the dock a little bit. And some of the grass too. Come on, Nibbles, let's go. Let's go to the next one. A few weeks ago I wasn't too sure about this graft, but it's really come to life. It was wilted at first. The leaves coming out were wilted. But I think it's gonna be alright. Here's my green zebra tomatoes that are, I have more up in the other garden, but put 2 of them down here just cause. I've been harvesting radishes. I put a pint of them in the fridge in a pickle yesterday. And I did a little bit of weeding too, so obviously I missed one. Need to start pulling the radishes out because they're sort of crowding out the peanuts, but they're also crowding out the weeds, so that's what they were supposed to do, and they are doing it. More elephant garlic. Can't have enough of that. The potatoes are blooming, so we'll be able to harvest them before too long here. Here's my pear tree that I grew from seed. I planted some burgundy hollyhocks there and there. I hope they do well. Look at that radish. It's grown just since yesterday. Pick it if I can find it. I'll let it get fatter. And this is my Hopi red dent corn. I don't think it's doing as well as the gourd seed, but it's definitely growing. My sweet potatoes, I think I planted them too deep. They've got some sort of thing going on. I don't know. I'm sure they'll snap out of it though, especially once it heats up even more. Now I've got more tomatoes on the trellises. I got them planted last week and they're looking really good. And this is my sole surviving python bean. and my 2 surviving bitter melons. And here's a watermelon. Blacktail Mountain watermelon is what I'm trying to grow this year. That's a weed. And these are the sunflowers that I planted a couple of weeks ago. They're looking really good. They're going to be nice and big. And then just the other day I planted collards and look, they're getting munched. Oh well, this one's alive. Hang in there, little collards. Yeah, I might have to plant more. And that's a tree of some sort. I'm gonna have to cut it back. There was a line of garlic where I planted the collards, and so I pulled the garlic out and then planted the collards in the empty spaces. And I got some nice sized garlic. I was pleased with the harvest, considering the lack of thinning. Here's some more sweet potatoes. They're looking a little bit better back here. And then another line of tomatoes for this side. And these here are more sunflowers. These are the Mongolian giant sunflowers. They're really, really big seeds. And then the okra is finally coming to life. It likes it to be really hot before it grows. But that's okra there. And this is the hibiscus that hibiscus tea is made out of. I'll probably thin it a bit to a foot between each seedling because they get really big. And I think that's everything for this garden. It's much more organized than it was last year, that's for sure. Here's the garlic that I harvested. These are the nicest, biggest bulbs. And then the second class bulbs. And these all save for cooking with. And then here's a bowl of all the little deals that I will replant in the ground.